Hey everybody, it's Taki117 back with Kerbal Space Program. In this episode, I have built a interplanetary satellite delivery vehicle. Inside this nose cone, there are a total of 5 satellites designed for interplanetary communication with the planet Venus, because that is my next launch window. Yes, it is the next launch window. So, here we go, launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There goes that. There we go. Alright, we're going to execute our roll. You'll notice I moved my nav ball over here. I have changed monitors in this episode. So, in order to get a little bit more screen realty here, I moved my nav ball over. We are ascending. Alright, going off-road at about 70 meters a second. It's been a while since I've played. It's been a while since I've done a video. I apologize for that. Part of the reason is I moved. Took about a month to get everything up and going. It was just kind of a hectic time, so. 75 degrees. Let's bring it down to 70 degrees. Now, you'll notice I'm flying completely by this smart stability system. Now, the main reason for that is so I don't have to keep touching the controls. It leaves me a little bit more freedom to talk to you guys. This rocket is actually based on the Titan missile, which is the same rocket that launched the Gemini spacecraft. Degrees. Absolutely beautiful launch there, breaking through the cloud layer off of southern Florida there. Surface velocity -5. -5 seems good. Now what this will do is it will keep me pointed towards my surface velocity, but at a pitch of -5 degrees, so it's constantly pitching down as we ascend. You already see we're up to 48 kilometer altitude, or apoapsis rather. Plume extending. Plenty of time. Just short of outside of the atmosphere, but we are going to kill our engines. Ooh. A little bit of a flip here. This is mainly due to aerodynamics. If I had activated the engine, that probably would not have happened. Yeah, I'm going to point orbit prograde. Fire up my engine and look at that. There we go. Back on course in our second stage. Now, for this particular launch, I'm not going to wait for a launch window. It's got more than enough delta V to get there. My satellites actually run off of monopropellant. I'm going to go up to an apoapsis of about 100 kilometers, which is my fairly standard orbit. 495. But as you can see, my second stage has more than enough delta V to get there. It's got plenty to a little high. So I'm going to circularize this next apoapsis, but before I do that, that's not where I want that at all. Okay. So I'm going to quick save and save in case something goes wrong here, because something will inevitably go wrong here. But while we're on a suborbital trajectory, I'm going to jettison this fairing. See, something has gone wrong. And oh, it broke one of my satellites. That's nice. Alright, I'm going to activate that and set it to Earth. Now these are using, and you can see one here, the PB Nuke Miniature RTG, and RTG stands for Radioisotope Thermoelectric Generator. What is going on here? Oh, okay, it's just giant. Wow, I did not expect that to be that big. Whoops. Oh well. So now I'm going to execute that node. So this is going to be interesting when I get there, because as you can see, oh good, it did not actually break my satellite, but as you can see, it is very clearly clipping through all of my other satellites. So let's deactivate that for a moment. Things get settled, and then activate it again. There you go. Now I don't have Kerbal OS installed, or Chaos, simply because I don't have it. I didn't think I would need it. Clearly I do, because I've never deployed this satellite before. So my plan now is to have a second satellite travel to Venus to act as the initial relay, so I can close these dishes when I deploy these satellites. It is going to be a single satellite, and it's going to take, or hopefully it gets there before this one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this one in orbit for a bit, and then proceed to build and launch the second satellite, send it first, wait 2 or 3 days, and send this one so that they arrive shortly one after the other. So this one's going to be in a sort of standby mode. Go ahead and deactivate that. As you can see, they're all packed quite nicely in there. They all have a launch, or a short range antenna, and they all also have a long range antenna. Let's see if I can find one here. There's, yeah, the Communitron 8888. There now, that's the dish. Here we go. Communitron 16, which is a omnidirectional antenna. Let's point you prograde. And it's got more than enough power generation so that these little probe cores can stay active even if the main dish is activated. I'm going to point all of these to Earth while I'm here, so that when I get to Venus, all I have to do is open them up and they will automatically point to Earth. And I'm pretty sure I have several satellites already pointing to Venus. So let's head back to the Space Center and build a new interplanetary satellite. with the specific purpose of going and gathering science at Venus. Now, I'm probably going to end up using the same rocket design. Let's see, 8 days to Venus. 2 days until my other one is complete that is going to Mars. I'm probably going to have to do the same thing there. So I'll head to the vehicle assembly building and let's see what we get. Now, I also want to check the range on that other antenna I have installed, because it can be activated and that will actually boost its range. So if it boosts it to something appreciable, what I can do is, okay, 1 megameter. So if I turn it on, it will go up to 1 megameter, which is fine. And what I can do with that is I can actually put an omnidirectional antenna on. Oh, whoops, I accidentally clicked it. Okay, so I don't want to save that. But I can put a similar omnidirectional antenna on my satellite that is going there, my main communication satellite. Here is a close-up look at the microsat that I have on the going there. We have a little monopropellant engine, RTG, the probe core, some monopropellant tanks, the large antenna, and the much smaller antenna. So that's what that's going to look like when it gets deployed, and I'm planning on deploying those in several different, I can't think of the word, attitudes. There we go. Here we go. Satellite base. Now we're going to be fairly close to the sun, so I don't need these. I do need let's see if I can force it to node attach. There we go. One of those looks nice. Has a range of 130 gigameters, which is infinitely more than I need, but it works. I will need, this is power storage. I don't need power storage. I need power generation. And I have larger ones that put out 45 a minute versus the 12 a minute, and I'm just going to use 4 of these because why not? You know, I have the technology, I can use it, not a problem. I will need a decoupler on the bottom there, and I'm going to search for ICBM. This is an intercontinental ballistic missile base that I'm using, and this is too big for that. Well, that is unfortunate. So we're going to ditch that idea. We are going to use a fairing. The question is, what kind of fairing? It's always the question you ask, is what kind of fairing should you use for something like this? And the real answer is it doesn't matter. Let's do fairing. You'll notice I'm doing searches for things because at this point I have a ton of parts. Like, so many parts I can't even find what I'm looking for most of the time. That's not gonna work. So I will definitely need 2.5 meter base, except that doesn't have a decoupler on it. I want flat decoupler. There we go. And some struts. Struts are always important. Those are indestructible. So you can see I'm already having issues finding things. And there are some up there, but let's... Oop, helps if I spell things. There we go, struts. Here we go. I want 4 of them. I'm going to rotate them. There we go, that way. Put them on there. That will hold my satellite in place. Go back to fairings. Ooh, and this will work nicely. There we go. So we have a 2.5 meter fairing on a 2.5 meter plate. I need to slide it down just a little bit. So it looks good. And now I need my Titan rocket. So I'll go to sub-assemblies, and here I have my pseudo-Titan. Which means I need to update that. I want the big one. There you go. So I'm going interplanetary. So I need the big one. And where is that engine that I was using? Here it is, LR91. This gives me quite a bit of delta V, actually. And also quite a bit of dust to weight ratio, which is nice. Back to decouplers for the LR91 decoupler. Titan rocket. And there we have it. Add some more launch clamps because launch clamps are fun. Ooh. Aha! I did rotate them. So you'll notice here I'm kind of fiddling around with things. There we go. And not quite perfect, but close enough. There we go. Now I'm going to have all of these activate at the same time. Now, of course, hopefully this doesn't take 8 days to build. Oh crap. Alright, so it's going to take 3 days to build, which means I'm going to have to launch it, immediately go to Venus, and then I can only wait a couple of days before I have to launch my other one to Venus. This I will call interplanetary sat. Venus. No. Interplanetary sat base, save it, build it, and build another one. Now let's see what I have building. And like I said, it's been a while since I've played, so I'm not entirely sure what's being built or what's going on with my space program. So let's see, I have position satellites in a specific orbit. I have to fly by Venus twice. I am leaving. Now, yeah, I have Valentina in orbit in Vostok 6. And then networks for Venus and Mars. So let's check in on Valentina, shall we? See how she's doing. Now, last episode, couple episodes back maybe, I put her up there, and she has to stay up there for 17 hours. And that is quite a long time. Especially when you're in space, making an orbit every hour and a half or so, depending on your altitude. Beautiful picture of Earth there. There's her little capsule. Nope, that is my Skylab, which should probably come down sometime soon. There's Vostok 6. Let's go ahead and see how she's doing. Hopefully she's doing alright, and has plenty of power and oxygen. My main concern is food and oxygen. Without those, she can't live. She can go without power for a little bit. There she is. Oh no, it's not Valentina. Sorry. It's, what is this? Marta. Yep, plenty of power, plenty of food, and oxygen. Oh! Yay, orbits have been completed. I may fire retros when ready. So, let's go ahead and deorbit her, shall we? Point retrograde. And let's... Now, the actual Vostok came down over Kazakhstan, and the pilot would bail out. We have no such luxury here. So, let's go ahead and fire our retros. I should probably activate them first. So here we go. Retro rockets activated, and these are all monopropellant engines. They're monopropellant tanks and engines. And we are going to fire those up. And, oh good, I will be coming down on the daytime side. This is good. 28 kilometers seems like a good way to come down. So we are now going to fall. Now, I'm not entirely sure why she's been up there that long. I certainly haven't been running the game that long. Although I suspect it's because I built and launched a rocket. She's been circling this entire time. Alright, so we're inside the atmosphere. We're going to go ahead and ditch our service module. There it goes. Now she's just a little ball falling through the air. Minimum pressure I'm going to put at half an atmosphere. This is so that I can leave it armed while she's falling, and it's not going to deploy until she gets to a safe altitude. So I'm going to turn all that off. We're definitely coming out of orbit. See it heating up just a little bit. Now, this part here, this is the important part. This is my parachute. Oh, that's cool. See the moon over there. We got Mars, Saturn. Definitely heating up, which is fine, but there's no flames yet. So this is probably going to be a very gentle re-entry. Oh, it looks like a hurricane down there. What's left of one anyway. Coming down quite nicely. Very gentle. Should be able to see South America here soon. Coming up over the horizon. Now I am falling at, let's do 4 times time warp. You can see just how little this pod is moving. That means it's very aerodynamically stable, which is what you want during re-entry. I heard an explosion. It's probably the service module exploding. We're through re-entry without any flames, which is good. Wonder why that is. Well, probably because my re-entries are very shallow. So they have plenty of time to slow down. I don't know when this parachute is going to deploy fully. I know at 700 meters it will deploy, but I don't know when it's going, or it will inflate, but I don't know when it's going to deploy. My goal, hopefully, is that it deploys at about 5,000 meters, which, let's turn on our surface info here. We're at 7 kilometers. It is armed. We can tell that from the little symbol down here. It's blue. 5 kilometers. Okay. There it goes. About 4,500 kilometers. Not bad. Let's see. I need to ferry a VIP to orbit. That shouldn't be hard. I can take care of that between episodes. Oh, there it goes. Deployed. Coming down at 11 meters a second. That's a little fast for me. But we are hitting water, which is nice. Water has a little bit more forgiveness than land. So if I hit it a little faster, it's not going to destroy anything, hopefully. There we go. A little bit of a bounce there. But that's it for this episode. I will see you next time, and remember, It's only rocket science.